So now this whole fat shaming thing that started the whole argument from Ryan came from this guy, the husband. So he freaks out. Shame on this dude.
What I'm thinking is what Brian Friedman is going to say is, so you were upset that you say your wife was harassed. And he's going to say, yes.
Oh, yeah, my family. I'm sure his family means the world to him. But the whole thing, again, it's so manipulative. Ryan left him hanging and then only responded when he needed something. But then Ryan was also really using his kids in a manipulation tactic to get what he wanted as well. Oh, yeah, my family. I'm sure his family means the world to him. But the whole thing, again, it's so manipulative. Anyway, a few weeks before filming began, in less than 4 months after Miss Lively had given birth, Miss Lively was humiliated to learn that Mr. Baldoni secretly called her fitness trainer without her knowledge or permission and implied that he wanted her to lose weight in 2 weeks. Mr. Baldoni told the trainer that he had asked because he was concerned about having to pick Miss Lively up in a scene for the movie, but there was no such scene. So that's the allegation. That's not it. When Lively caught strep throat, Mr. Baldoni offered a gift to connect her with an expert he had on retainer to help her with her probiotics and to combat the sickness. When Miss Lively went to fill out the privacy forms, she saw that the expert was not what Mr. Baldoni had represented to her, but instead was a weight loss specialist. Miss Lively felt once again that Mr. Baldoni was shaming her for her body and her weight. So wait, I didn't even really realize this. This whole thing was because the doctor had that on the form.
Have you ever imagined what happens when two of Hollywood's most admired stars turn a promising movie set into a battlefield, only to find themselves standing on opposite sides of a courtroom? In today's report, we uncover a drama so intense it has divided fans and sent shockwaves through the industry. According to eyewitnesses, the courtroom tension hit a breaking point when Blake Lively reportedly broke down in tears, leaving everyone in disbelief. The emotional moment raised serious questions about how deep the off-screen conflict truly runs and what really happened behind the cameras.
Go through this again. She was humiliated to learn that Mr. Baldoni secretly called her fitness trainer without her knowledge or permission, and yada, yada, yada. Okay. Well, then why did you introduce him to him, your friend, celebrity trainer, who would later become Baldoni's trainer as well? Baldoni and the trainer start collaborating with the trainer, delivering his workout program on the 22nd. Hey, blank, I think I know who this is. Justin Baldoni here, new friend of Blake's. We are working together on a film. I'll be headed your way for the first week of March for 4 months. Great to meet you, Justin. Happy to discuss. Let's jump on a call. This changes the context tremendously.
Is there more to this headline-making feud than what the tabloids have told us? If you think you've heard the full story, think again. Buckle up, because what follows may completely reshape how you view these stars. When it was first announced that Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni would bring It Ends With Us to life on the big screen, fans were thrilled. Colleen Hoover's best-selling novel had already touched millions worldwide with its emotional storytelling, and a film adaptation seemed destined for success. With two beloved actors leading the project, anticipation soared, and expectations for a box office triumph couldn't have been higher.
In her complaint as well, I just want to make sure we put it all out there. As they say here, later text messages, Mr. Baldoni referred to Miss Lively's trainer as a damn spy and sought to plant stories to portray his concerns as being motivated by his lower back pain. She fails to mention the most of it. The reason he thought that is because this trainer that Blake Lively, this guy allegedly, who Blake Lively suggested Justin be his trainer, was Ryan and Blake's clear friend and celebrity trainer who was clearly aligned to them.
But behind those bright smiles, things were far from perfect. From the very first day on set, reports surfaced suggesting growing friction between the stars. Sources claim creative disagreements over the script began to emerge early on, with Blake Lively reportedly voicing strong opinions about her character's portrayal and even requesting changes to several scenes. Justin Baldoni, who not only acted but also directed and produced the film, allegedly felt her constant revisions disrupted his creative vision. What started as minor debates over dialogue, camera angles, or costume design soon escalated. Crew members reportedly witnessed heated exchanges during breaks, and week by week, tension continued to build. The emotional weight of filming It Ends With Us, a deeply charged story about love and pain, only added to the stress. Insiders described the atmosphere as walking on a tightrope, where one wrong move could trigger another clash. By mid-production, The behind-the-scenes drama had become almost as intense as the story being told on screen.
This whole fat-shaming thing that started the whole argument from Ryan came from this guy, this trainer who's clearly closer to them and wants them and showing them off, pinning them all over his Instagram to get other celebrities so he can get more people to join his gym or whatever. This is where it all came from? Through hearsay, through that? And then just to focus a second, again, allegedly, if this guy is the one who did it, and you're telling me your client now, Justin, who's become your training, is talking to you about concerns or whatever. Who knows how he asked it, or if he was just brought it up in passing, like, oh man, I got this big lifting scene that I got to do, and I don't know how much she weighs. Like, can I lift that much? There's a million ways you could say that are not offensive to like two dudes talking, where he's not trying to shame her at all. But the way that the trainer then goes and tells Ryan and Blake can be misinterpreted a million different ways, because that's hearsay, whisper down the lane, you know what I mean? And so that's how this all stemmed. This just annoys me to no end. This is incredibly frustrating to learn.
And if you think this was just another Hollywood spat, think again. What unfolded next went far beyond creative differences. Sources claim the conflict deepened into personal grievances, jealousy over control, and disputes about how much credit the original author deserved. The situation reportedly exploded when Blake Lively's legal team filed a lawsuit accusing Justin Baldoni of fostering a toxic work environment and harassment. Her side claimed that Lively's repeated concerns were ignored, that she was belittled for speaking up, and that the working conditions became unbearable. At the center of her allegations was Baldoni's dual role as both producer and director, a position she argued gave him unchecked authority. According to insiders, her legal team gathered substantial evidence, including anonymous crew testimonies, internal emails, and documents allegedly proving that her complaints were dismissed. What began as a simple creative disagreement quickly spiraled into a high-stakes legal showdown, one that now threatens to redefine both stars' careers and reshape public perception of a project once hailed as a dream collaboration.
They ran into each other. They're both single, ready to mingle.
Yeah, I think, he's an alum, obviously. He's been in the cast for a long time. Now he's tattoo-less or going tattoo-less, added a little bit of weight. He's trying to have like another moment where he's leading man, good looks or something. I thought her involvement was a little forced. To be honest with you, she's been on one episode of SNL. It was mid. She kissed him as Jasmine from
True.
Aladdin. I didn't think it was like she was big enough to have the sort of stage she had at the 50th. Did you?
What?
I know we work here, but she's not SNL 50th.
I mean, yes and no. Someone played the butt bongos on her. Like,
Yeah.
She wasn't like they did the butt bongos. So those exes was there. Also, back to Ryan Reynolds. His ex was there. Scarlett Johansson. They'd been married for years.
That's right.
Now they're both hanging out.
Are you curious what she has to say? She's now an SNL wife. She's Colin Jost's wife. She is part of the inner circle, the inner family of SNL, because Colin Jost, head writer, he's the Weekend Update guy for one of the longest tenures. What do you think she thinks, and why has she stayed out of the fray? It's almost like when you're at SNL, you don't want to get into the tawdry tabloid stuff. She's like, I'm exalted.
She definitely doesn't.
She doesn't, right?
If anything, remember how if any news story comes out kind of linked to her, she'll come out like defend herself, or remember there was that AI story, and she had to come out and say, that's not me, even though we all knew it wasn't about her. And then there was some sort of Siri voice that sounded a bit like hers, and she had to come out and say, that's not my voice. And it's just like, it feels like she has to respond to a lot of these things, but she hasn't responded to this one.
Yeah, and I'm just shocked. It doesn't even seem like anyone shoved a microphone in her face to be like, what do you think of Ryan Reynolds? He's the biggest story in the world. Maybe she's just not going to answer or put herself in a position on a red carpet to answer those questions, but I am surprised no one's asked her, right? Like, what's this guy like? Does he yell at people? Seems to yell at Justin Baldoni. Did he ever yell at your...
For Blake Lively's fans, the revelations were nothing short of shocking. How could Justin Baldoni, a man admired for his empathy, motivational talks, and uplifting messages, suddenly find himself at the center of such serious allegations? But Baldoni didn't stay silent. He struck back with a counter-lawsuit, calling Lively's accusations false, damaging, and defamatory. According to his legal team, her claims had severely tarnished his reputation, scared off investors, and jeopardized the career he had spent years building. In their account, it was Lively who created turmoil on set, frequently clashing with the crew, demanding constant changes, and causing costly production delays. Lively's representatives, however, stood firm. They argued she had every right to speak out if she felt mistreated, framing her actions as a stand against a toxic and unprofessional workplace. With both sides presenting compelling narratives, fans quickly found themselves divided, unsure who to believe. Within days, the lawsuit and counter-lawsuit dominated entertainment headlines, sparking endless speculation across social media. Would this end in a quiet settlement, or were both stars headed for a brutal, public courtroom showdown? The stakes extended far beyond their personal reputations. The very future of it ends with us hung in the balance. After all, how could a film survive if its leading stars were locked in open legal warfare? As the case escalated, tensions soared even higher. Each new filing and leaked detail added fuel to the fire. And then came the breaking point, an alleged courtroom meltdown that overshadowed every previous headline, turning what was once a hopeful cinematic collaboration into a full-blown Hollywood spectacle.
God. I think this is some deflection. Blake Lively's feeling insecure, and everything she's seeing, she's just now blaming Justin. Now, it's one thing to have this in private and to say, look, I don't like that guy, I don't want to work with him again, and tell people that in private, but you put this in a complaint. You've destroyed this man's life because a form that his holistic coach had, because maybe she wanted to have some more clients come in, because not everyone's Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. A lot of us got to scrap around to figure out how we can get extra income. So maybe she put some forms out that put that on there, and now you're assuming that's how Justin's fat shaming you because he knew what her form said? Can you guys even believe this nonsense?
If you're assuming this courtroom saga wrapped up quietly with a routine hearing or a swift settlement, think again. According to multiple reports, a pivotal court session took an unexpected turn when Blake Lively allegedly suffered what witnesses described as a sudden emotional collapse. Accounts from inside the courtroom differ. Some claim she broke into tears after the judge's early remarks. Others insist she went pale, appearing short of breath before leaving abruptly. Official court transcripts, however, make no mention of a dramatic fainting episode, only noting that the hearing ended earlier than scheduled. Outside the courthouse, paparazzi photos showed Lively visibly shaken, clutching her handbag and avoiding questions as security escorted her to a waiting car. Whether it was a genuine moment of emotional overwhelm or a strategic response under immense pressure became the question dominating headlines. Tabloids erupted with theories, some labeling it a breakdown, others calling it a panic attack. Social media, too, lit up with debate. Was this simply human vulnerability under public scrutiny, or a calculated attempt to sway public sympathy? Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni maintained an almost unnerving composure. Calm and silent, he exited the courthouse without comment, his reserved demeanor fueling even more speculation. Some viewed it as the confidence of a man on the verge of legal victory. Others suspected it was part of a quiet strategy to let Lively's distress shift the narrative in his favor. A meltdown in court is rare, especially for someone like Blake Lively, long regarded as the epitome of grace and poise. The stark contrast between her composed public image and her alleged courtroom behavior only intensified the media frenzy. Industry insiders suggested the stakes went far beyond reputation. Control over It Ends With Us, including potential sequels, merchandising, and streaming rights, represented tens of millions of dollars. Whoever dominated the public narrative stood to gain not only sympathy, but also long-term financial leverage. Some insiders claimed Lively's push for creative changes stemmed not purely from artistic passion, but from efforts to secure a larger share of back-end profits. Baldoni, fiercely protective of his producer-director authority, reportedly resisted those attempts, deepening the rift. Rumors even surfaced about hush money offers and undisclosed settlements, the kind Hollywood quietly arranges when bad press threatens a major release. Lively's lawsuit, critics argued, might have been both a genuine grievance and a tactical move, a way to force renegotiation or settlement. In that light, her alleged courtroom collapse could have applied strategic pressure on studio executives desperate to contain the fallout. Behind the scenes, powerful Hollywood factions reportedly took sides. Some top agents and financiers rallied behind Baldoni, viewing him as a profitable, image-safe figure aligned with the industry's current push for socially conscious storytelling. Others defended Lively, praising her advocacy for fair treatment on set and her willingness to challenge outdated power dynamics. With these hidden alliances, the legal fight began to resemble a high-stakes chess match, every move designed to manipulate perception, investor confidence, and media momentum. Fans, left piecing together fragments from selective leaks and viral posts, found themselves at the mercy of the narrative each camp wanted to project. By the time the crucial hearing arrived, Lively's alleged breakdown overshadowed the legal arguments themselves. Online, #TeamBlake and #TeamJustin trended worldwide as influencers, entertainment blogs, and mainstream outlets dissected every frame and facial expression. Memes circulated comparing Lively's visible distress with Baldoni's calm exit, fueling endless speculation. The conversation even turned political and cultural. Commentators pointed out how women who speak up about workplace issues are often dismissed as emotional, while others argued celebrity power can just as easily be abused to manipulate narratives. Each leaked message, NDA-protected detail, and behind-the-scenes rumor deepened the chaos. Several Hollywood names were dragged into the debate. Some subtly voiced support for Lively's courage, while others praised Baldoni's character and philanthropy. A few prominent figures stayed silent, a silence that many interpreted as the result of quiet studio pressure to avoid worsening the storm. Behind closed doors, studio executives reportedly panicked. Controversy can drive curiosity, but it can also destroy a film's box office chances. Viewers debated whether they would still watch It Ends With Us, some out of intrigue, others in protest. Then came the twist, the judge's final decision. Depending on which source you believe, the case was either dismissed or dramatically reduced in scope, weakening Lively's claims. For some, her emotional display was a genuine reaction to losing. For others, it was a last attempt to recapture public sympathy as her case faltered. Official court documents remained sealed or heavily redacted, leaving the truth murky. Did her team fail to produce sufficient evidence? Did legal technicalities overshadow emotional testimony? Or did Baldoni's defense simply outmaneuver her narrative? Insiders suggest the judge cited a lack of corroborating evidence strong enough to meet the required legal threshold, a detail that may have ultimately sealed the ruling. In the end, this saga proved one thing: Hollywood court battles are never just about the law. They're about narrative control, investor trust, media image, and the vast business machinery behind every major franchise. Whether Blake Lively's case was rooted in truth, strategy, or a complex mix of both, its fallout has left the entertainment world divided, a lasting reminder that in Hollywood, perception can be as powerful as justice itself. Blake Lively's legal showdown with Justin Baldoni left Hollywood stunned, and the aftershocks of the ruling continue to ripple across the industry. According to legal observers, Lively's case relied heavily on witness testimonies that often conflicted or lacked the detail needed to substantiate her claims. Baldoni's countersuit, by contrast, appeared so compelling that the judge reportedly viewed Lively's allegations as overshadowed by